and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, the podcast hosted by two of your gamers for you, the True Gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How's it going, bro?
It's going great. How's it going? Especially because, I know I cut you off, I asked you a question, but I don't really care about your answer, because we have the only guest we've ever had on the podcast. All the others have just been cheap imitations.
Exactly.
The only guy with good takes, long-feared cock himself.
There we go.
It's good to be back.
How's it going, George, bro?
Yeah, it's really good to be back. I love the last podcast we did. You know, good to be back.
The last podcast that we did, we also did it. We did it on the Conversations channel. We chilled out and we just let our hair down completely. This one, we're doing it about gaming because we thought we need a true gamer. That's why we haven't had James or Tyler on this channel. We don't have those. We thought we'd get the only true gamer that we actually know. Long-eared fox over here. So are you excited to be on an actual real gaming podcast for the first time in your life?
I am, yeah. You know, you've come to the right person, I think, you know.
Yeah.
He's just going to turn around and be like, well, the only game I've been playing for this year is Minecraft, so don't really know what I'm going to bring to the table, you know?
Recently, yeah. There's been a lot of Minecraft.
Yeah, this episode, for those of you guys that don't know, we're breaking up into two parts. This episode is going to be our Best of PlayStation 4 exclusive tournament here, where we are going to be breaking down the results that everyone gave us on Twitter, all the people out there, all the true gamers that voted on that poll, so we can talk a little bit about that. And then afterwards, we are going to be going through what our personal top game of the PlayStation 4 generation will be right here with you guys. Have a nice little discussion and obviously tell you why you guys are wrong and why our pick is obviously the winner.
That's right, that's right. But before we get too far into it, this podcast, along with all of our content, along all of our shows, all of our channels, is brought to you by our amazing patrons over on patreon.com/conversations. Who do we have to thank?
We have Jake Ryan, aka Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan's illegitimate son.
That always makes me fucking smile, man. I can't help it.
It's a mouthful, and I can't imagine I get it every single time, and one day I'm going to fuck up. Isak the Ultimate, Keralt of Rivia, aka Catsper the Friendly Patron, Record Friction, Dan, The Man, Diogo Dildo, Chris, aka Batman's Robin, Jeremy Renner, Martin Scorsese's Master H. Butts, and the real life superhero, Night Scar. How's it going, everybody? Thank you so much for keeping the lights, the mics on, and the gaming going here at Combroplations. That's right, guys.
Yeah, thank you, boys. It's great to especially have the list grow, but it also changes, you know, as people do every month. And so we have some new names coming in, which I appreciate because I love you boys, but I appreciate it even more because it fricks with Ed.
Yeah, it really does. This is the thing. I made it hard for myself. I was like, okay, the names are going to come in and every week they change their names, so I have to figure out who it is. And then on top of that, I made it extra difficult and I said, I'm going to give all these people funny names to make it extra special, the experience even better. Right. So every week now I need to come up with a new person. Like I had to come up with Night Scar's one day, and I'm like, Night Scar, it sounds like a superhero. Like he's got a big scar on his face, but he protects the people in the darkness. Like, let's go for something like that. And yeah, it gets me every single time. But yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you Night Scar for joining us, well being a super bro, a long time fan, and thank you for doing that.
Yeah, we know Night Scar from back in the day. Like, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Oh yeah. Glad to have him on the thing. Glad to have him on there. Also, as we do on our True Gamer podcast as well, I'm going to thank all of our bros, all of our true gamers, all the people that participated in this poll as well, who support us at the $5 level and above. And that is Jeremy Horde, Chris Williams, Daniel, Record Friction, Jake Ryan, Isak Manny, Dan, Diogo, Real Cinema, Catsper Coral. I'm literally reading the names as they are. His name's Real Cinema. Catsper Coral, Ashton, aka the Midnight Sip, and also a simp of Conversations. It does say that right there.
It does say that.
Max H, Adam Sunling, Benedict Klobbers, Fishy, Batfan257, which he's a Batman fan. He's gonna love it. He's been wanting to meet you, Sheps, and the Swan over the sea, swim, swan, swim. The swan swam back again. Well, swum, swan.
What?
Mate, every week he changes his name to some other tongue twister, and it never ceases to amaze me. The
best thing is I recognize some of the there are memes inside Patreon names. Yes. You know, like I'm getting memes from the other podcast. You know,
can't say that name.
Yeah, I'm getting memes that are like meta memes, where he's just doing it to frick with people, especially you. So I'm digging it. So what is on the agenda?
So we're going to be going through, first things first, I'm going to run down with you guys, with the true gamers, what the results were for the tournament that I put out on Twitter. For those of you guys that don't know, for those of you guys that don't follow us, you really should click the links in the description to all of our Twitter pages and stuff like that. And we're going to go through the results for the people's choice of the best PlayStation 4 exclusive of the generation. Awesome.
Quick question for you,
yes.
just total aside.
Yeah.
We worked on some new assets. Do we think they'll be ready for this? I don't want to say what they are, because I would love it for it to be this, for where the assets get.
It could be like right down there right now. It could be. So
Fingers
if you
crossed,
like it, let us know in the chat.
Yeah, cool.
All right. I've also sent you guys the little picture as well of the PlayStation 4 exclusive tournament, how it turned out and everything like that. Yep. We're going to go through all of these very quickly so everyone can know, and then we can move on to our part where we completely discredit everything they've said and give you guys the true answer to all of these things. I was going to say,
if your pick doesn't win, it's not that because this table comes down to a lot of things like people's personal preferences, what games they actually played. They might have played a great game and just personally not vibed with it. Like Horizon Zero Dawn's in there. It's a masterpiece. I don't like it. You know?
Yeah.
So this isn't the definitive list. Wait for us to give our opinion, which is just facts, and that's the definitive winner.
Exactly. I mean, one of the games that went out on the first round is Knack 2. I mean, how could you possibly?
Knack 2, baby.
There you go. See, man. George is on my side, and he always has great takes. That's
true. It's what he's known for.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna put this up on the screen as well, so people can see exactly what we're looking at here. But just going down the left-hand side, we had the first two people going up. We had Gravity Rush 2, The Last of Us Part 2. That was unfair. That was unfair. That's like me and Tyler battling out in a fight. Tyler's just gonna lose. It's just not gonna work out that way, you know. Then we had Killzone Shadow 4 versus God of War. Again, very unfair.
Yeah, some unbalanced fights here.
Yeah.
But just for the record, everyone, I got all the PlayStation 4 games and I put it in a random list generator.
It's Muhammad Ali versus a 4-year-old in a coma.
I had absolutely no say in this, but it turned out this way, and immediately I was like, ooh, this is going to go bad. Gran Turismo versus Ratchet and Clank, Everybody's Golf versus Drive Club, Days Gone versus Infamous First Light. That is a standalone DLC, and I made a few exceptions in this game, in this tournament you'll see later. Okay. Uncharted Lost Legacy versus MLB The Show 20. Bloodborne versus Persona 5.
That's pretty good.
And I got a lot of shit for that. People were like, how could you put them together? Persona 5 is so great.
That's a good one. I think that's a really good one.
That is a really good one.
They're the two closest matched. Yeah.
I would say Knack 1 versus The Order. And on the right-hand side, going up against all of those, is Uncharted 4 A Thief's End versus Yakuza 6 A Song of Life. Sorry, The Song of Life. I've read that wrong there. Horizon Zero Dawn versus Death Stranding. Neo 2 versus Spider-Man PS4. Infamous Second Son versus Until Dawn. PT versus Shadow of the Colossus, Detroit Become Human versus Concrete Genie, Knack 2 versus The Last Guardian, and Dreams versus Ghost of Tsushima. Are there any there that you thought, like, because we can all see exactly who got knocked out and stuff like that? Are there any there where you would be like, oh mate, how did this go out so soon? How did that happen?
It's because of who they get matched up against. Like, seeing Second Son go out straight away or second up. Like, but it got taken out by Spider-Man, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Do you know what I thought was a big one? This is just me personally, and I haven't played Shadow of the Colossus, but PT and Shadow of the Colossus went together, and I know PT was a bit of an iffy one because it wasn't a game, it was more of a teaser to try and tease Silent Hill, but it was unbelievable, and I feel like the whole gaming landscape was talking about it when it came out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's still talked about today.
Exactly. There are people that don't connect their PS4s to the internet because they don't want like a sneaky update to come in to like wipe their thing clean because it's impossible to get that game back anymore. I was like, surely. But yeah, it didn't work out. Let's move on to the next bracket for the people. God of War obviously won. Last of Us went through against God of War.
Yeah.
How should I say that? Should I say... I'll read them out. Last of Us Part 2 versus God of War in the next round.
Yeah.
God of War won that one there.
Of course it
Ratchet
did,
and
it's bound
Clank...
to.
right, I mean... do you know what? Sheps, you said actually that this was going to be a tough one, right?
I said that it was not fair to put those two up against each other this early on. Like, I was hoping that it would go... The first round would be easy wins, right? It would be like Ghost of Tsushima versus Knack 2, right?
Yeah.
Easy win.
I don't understand how that's easy. Well, a Knack 2 winning. Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Right,
I see what you mean.
right.
Okay, no
And
problem,
then the last 4 would be like the big games where I wanted it to be like, shit, how do you divide it? So it would be like 23%, 24%, 25%, 26%,
Right.
you know, where it was
Right.
like neck and neck, and obviously one wins by like a hair. That's what I was hoping for, but so yeah, go on.
Yeah. Then it was Ratchet and Clank versus Drive Club. Ratchet and Clank won that round there.
Of course.
I'm not surprised, yeah.
I'm not surprised by that. Drive Club was decent. I feel like the tech was great, but I don't know if it was worth over Ratchet and Clank. You
It's
know
just
what
not
I mean?
Forza though, is it?
Exactly. It's not Forza. It's not Forza. Hey, this is a PlayStation. No, it isn't. Do you know what? There are some guys out there that obviously think that we're Sony ponies and we'll only talk about PlayStation and whatnot, which it isn't giving us any favors by doing the best of PlayStation 4 exclusive tournament. But we'll gloss over that little point right there.
Hold on. There are 2 games if you do the best of Xbox.
I was about to say the same thing.
Like, there's no
It's
tournament.
Halo versus Rise Son of Rome. Done.
Right, there you go.
Oh man.
Oh boy. And if you do Ubisoft, it's just open world RPG versus open world RPG.
Right.
Oh, Sergey Haskowet, fucking dickhead.
Fuck that nigga. The next round, Days Gone versus Uncharted Lost Legacy, the standalone DLC, and Uncharted Lost Legacy won.
Not surprised.
How do you feel about that?
Really? Oh, mate, for me, that was a bit tough. I'm sure that what everyone's going off of is the initial impression when the game first came out for Days Gone, because it was buggy and it was a bit slow, and there was issues and stuff, which that's totally on them. That's totally on Sony Bend. They should have brought out the game perfectly to have that perfect look, but they didn't, and that's what's tainted this, I think. And Uncharted Lost Legacy came out and it was amazing, so you can't fault them, can you? You can't.
Days Gone's a really good game though. Like, I haven't played my own playthrough of it, but I played it with James for a bit, and it's really fun. It's got a nice open world and nice mechanics.
And Sam Witwer as well, man. You can't turn that guy down.
Sam fucking Witwer, the legend
great
himself.
Guy.
He really
is. One day I'd like to get him on the True Gamer podcast where I can have some actual gamers, unlike you guys.
Right.
Oh man.
Anyway, next round, Bloodborne versus The Order 1886, and Bloodborne beat The Order there.
Obviously, Bloodborne is my lord and saviour. I love that game.
The 1886 has 1 hour of gameplay, so
Yeah, exactly. The rest of it just watching really nice looking cutscenes.
right.
Oh boy! I mean,
It's
that's
a
what you
great
bought.
CG movie.
We're not playing a game here. We're watching a movie. Come on, guys. That's
It is
what we're
crazy.
doing.
When did it come out? Like 2014?
I think it was 2014. I think you're right. Yeah.
It looks way ahead of its time. It's crazy.
It's gorgeous, yeah,
It
absolutely.
really is.
That's the thing. I'm actually in the process. I mean, I have been for a long time, so this is going to sound weird, but I'm in the process of making a why I think you should play the Order 1886 video, sort of like video essay.
Yeah.
And on its own, when you stand alone and you look at it and you say, you guys should play this, I'm sure I can convert a lot of people, because it is genuinely gorgeous, great graphics, and great, like, well ahead of its time, like you said.
Yeah.
And the story's intriguing. It's just there's not a lot of gameplay in it.
Or the game doesn't actually have its own story. This is clearly a game. I'm sorry to cut up your whole video, but it was a game designed to sell part 2.
Yeah,
it wasn't
not
a
gonna
game
lie.
to be a game, you know.
Did they
There
make
was
the
this-
part 2?
No,
They didn't know, because the first one, just people were like, fuck this. It was at the part of the console life cycle where everyone was on fighting each other. They were like, let's discredit this game for everything because it's PlayStation, and the same vice versa for like Xbox and things like that. That's why I think Rise Son of Rome had its own problems, but it looked fantastic.
Yeah, it did,
but
yeah.
everyone
it
was just like,
interesting,
it's QTE mess, blah, 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 stuff like that, so they didn't want it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's how that turned out.
Cool.
And on the other side, we had Uncharted 4 versus Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Uncharted
breaks
4
my
won there. It was a tough one, but I
That is a
do
very tough
think
one.
Uncharted 4 was better.
I
Yeah.
didn't
do think
play
that.
Uncharted 4, and I voted for Uncharted 4.
It's a brilliant game. I do think Uncharted
something-
4 does have the edge. Yeah.
That's something that we're gonna have to talk about when we do our own one, Sheps. You're gonna when in the next round when we're talking
Yeah.
about our own picks here. Spider-Man PS4 versus Infamous Second Son. Spider-Man PS4 won, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's also tough because they're also kind of basically the same game.
Very, very true.
Do you know what I
Very,
mean?
very
They're
true.
the same feel. It's just one you play Peter Parker, another you play a guy that isn't Peter Parker and doesn't shoot webs. He shoots like fire or lightning or whatever. Like,
Yeah. It's also, I mean, like, with Spider-Man, it's going to be... People are going to favour Spider-Man, aren't they?
it's
over-
Pete. It's Pete
Yeah.
Parker. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And even when you know when the rumors were coming out that a Spider-Man game was coming from one of Sony's first party studios, people were thinking it was going to be Sucker Punch, who are the people that make Infamous Second Son, for those very reasons, Sheps, because it's so similar and it seems kind of Spider-Man, like you're in the sky, you're above rooftops
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
I mean-
that's I get that feeling.
but I just, to be honest, I don't think Sucker Punch can make a good game that isn't Infamous. You know, like they're out.
No,
I
no,
don't think
Yeah.
they're capable.
Yeah.
They're one trick
Completely washed up.
ponies.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Big agree right there. This is coming from the guy that has basically a Ghost of Tsushima channel. This is coming from this guy right there.
Yeah.
You've already fallen down the rabbit hole that James and Tyler and all that and Fishy have, where they're like, I now hate Ubisoft. I hate them for what they
That's
did
right.
after making a whole channel of their stuff.
Yeah.
The next round, Shadow of the Colossus versus Detroit Become Human, and Detroit Become Human won.
I'm surprised about that, to be honest. I think
Yeah?
Shadow is a better game. Although
You know
I've
what?
never played Detroit fully, but I think I enjoyed the idea of it more.
I think Shadow of the Colossus is a bit more niche than people might realize. Like
Yeah.
it's not a niche game. It's not like I'm trying to think of a like Spelunky or something like that. It's a bit less in the mainstream than Detroit Become Human was.
Yeah.
I think Detroit Become Human was really out there when it came out, so it's played by more people, obviously loved by more people.
Yeah.
And the final round in this bracket, The Last Guardian versus Ghost of Tsushima. And The Last Guardian smacked Ghost of Tsushima out of the water. No, it didn't. It got trounced on Ghost of Tsushima just coming out like a week ago, a couple weeks ago.
Both great games, though.
Both
really
are
good
great.
games,
Both
yeah.
are great.
That's one thing as well about these whole heats is that there is a lot of recency bias, you know, and that's just one of those things we got to balance, you know.
Yeah. Luckily, it panned out in the end, and it didn't go like, "Oh, we're all playing Ghost right now, and we're loving it, and the photo mode's fantastic. All right, that wins Game of the Year." It's like,
Yeah,
fuck.
Yeah, it's like that's not how it is. That's not
Yeah.
how it is.
And then in the next round, this is the semi-final now. It's God of War versus Uncharted Lost Legacy. The people chose God of War, obviously,
course,
in that
of
one right there.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side of the bracket, we had Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, versus Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, such big names, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Such titans
I know.
battling it out, and Uncharted 4 took home the win on that one there.
It did.
Bringing
Uncharted
it to...
fell at the last hurdle there.
It did, it really did. Bringing it to Uncharted 4 versus God of War. And God of War obviously took home the gold medal right there. God of War, as voted by the people, the winner of the best PlayStation 4 exclusive. Congratulations to the guys, Cory Borlog. I know you're watching and listening at home right now.
Of course.
You're currently working on God of War Ragnarok. We know. If you can just
Yeah.
shoot me those. You said you was going to send me a video or something, or a playtest kit or something like that. Feel free to send that to me. I didn't get the message, but I'll just DM you my address again. You can do that.
I'm sure
don't
he'll get
worry
back
about
to you.
Sheps.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah. Don't worry about Sheps over here. Don't
Well, I
worry
was
about
going to say
him, but
DM me and I'll give you, your prizes and stuff. We can work out whatever promo deals we were going to do. But yeah,
really what we did here, and if God of War wins our pick as well in the end, it's gonna seem like we're trying to butter him up and whatnot. And do you know what? Fuck
I
it.
am.
Let's tell him there's an award at the end, like a cash prize award.
that's right.
It's
That's
like-
right.
that's
Corey
actually how
needs
we're
the
gonna
money
get it.
right
after
now.
all the money, yeah.
He does. That guy is. You can tell, man. He's at home with his beautiful OLED screen and his like smart lighting all around it, playing video games on his couch in the middle of the day. The guy is totally hard up for money right now. He needs it.
Exactly.
He needs it.
He needs that Conversations coins.
That's right.
Exactly, and
It really
all of our bros have supported that, and they're the ones basically paying this grease money. But yeah, how do you guys feel about that overall in general? Obviously, we're going to go into our own talk now. How do you feel about that?
I think this is a pretty accurate list. There's a lot of games that I haven't played on there, like Ratchet and Clank, Gran Turismo, Drive Club, Persona 5. But I think God of War is a really good conclusion to come to. I think it is definitively the best PS4 exclusive and the best PlayStation game ever made.
Yeah, that's honestly my opinion. I've said it. In fact, I'm not gonna say it now actually because it might give like context clues into the whole of the next portion when we talk and stuff like that. But I'm very happy with the way it turned out. There's only one or two here that I thought maybe would go a different way because of how it's been in the Twitterverse and like in the gaming scene and stuff like that. And I'll talk about that when we skim over those particular games. Yeah. But other than that, I think this is very, very good. The people that voted as well, we got a nice pool of true gamers out there. I think we did well. How about you, Sheps?
Yeah, I think this is about what the mainstream would pick, and there's probably a few niche things that you would change. Like for me, for example, I'm not surprised that Ghost didn't win it as much as I've been loving it, and it is so gorgeous. It's just gonna fall down when it comes to like if it had gone Ghost versus God of War. God of War just has that X factor. It's got that a father and his son story that just Ghost is lacking.
Yeah, and
that's not what that game's about. But because of that, it just speaks to you in a different way, you know?
Yeah. And
so it's not that Ghost isn't deserving of being the best game. It's that another game spoke more to you, as like to your soul. And so that's why I think, anyone that picks God of War as like the best title, I think it would be very easy to say, oh, you're jumping on the bandwagon, but have you experienced it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a game that I want to go back and platinum as well, God of War, because it's just so worth it, I think.
Oh, you should platinum it, definitely. It's not even that hard of a platinum as well.
Yeah,
like,
it's got some really fun side content in there.
Yeah, I have the platinum myself because I'm a true gamer, obviously, unlike you. So you just outed yourself, right?
Excuse me, you did that entire game back to front. You're supposed to beat the Valkyries first.
George, do you know about this, what Sheps has done?
No, what's that?
So Sheps is famous for not being able to follow any story in any video game.
Oh yeah,
the way it's
we went over this last podcast with
I
Skyrim.
Yeah, I suffer badly from the shiny object syndrome.
So do I.
Badly. Badly, yeah. So I know all about the side content.
Which is bad because fucking Ghost of Tsushima is the worst for it. It's affecting me. Imagine what it's like for you.
Yeah. I'm barely into Act 2. I've done one mission in Act 2, one main mission, and the rest I've been murdering Mongols that desecrated an Inari shrine, and
I've done.
To be fair, I mean they deserve it. Look at them fucking desecrating an Inari shrine.
But, it's So God of War, yes.
Yes, good. One quick note on the Ghost of Tsushima thing. We haven't actually spoken about it properly, but we are going to do a spoiler cast video for that, aren't we, Sheps?
Yeah, I think we will. I should probably try and finish that game before then. But.
You probably should. You know what? Try not. I can't speak at all, but try not to get distracted by every bird and fox you see.
Yeah, it's just
and maybe you'll finish that game.
The big deal is I know it's a game kind of like. I don't know, a game that I didn't play, Red Dead, where I can finish the story and still play all the rest of it. But a little bit of me, because I've played Mass Effect and stuff, and I've seen I played through it and didn't do the character story missions, and I did all the story missions, and then wanted to know what happens if you don't do all the loyalty missions, right? Because I like to do that stuff. And in this, I want to get through all of these guys' story missions. One, because I want to experience it, and two, because I want to get the full canon ending, I guess. So I want to do all of those, but the problem is in between getting there you run into some peasant that's telling you there's a ghost haunting some fucking town or whatever, right? Or finally you find a musician and he's telling you about some dude's heavenly strike, and I gotta know.
I just got to know.
Man.
So I don't know if I'll have finished it in the next 2 weeks, so I may not know what the story is, but I'll definitely do a spoiler cast with you.
This is the thing, because we're not the biggest YouTubers in the world. I mean, we've got a couple million viewers and stuff like that, but probably we're not the biggest and whatnot. Because we're not the biggest, we don't get the game early. We get it on the day. And if it's only a normal game where we don't get distracted by everything, we probably could get a review out, a bit like The Last of Us. Yeah. In about 3 weeks, we should be able to do it.
Because we have work and stuff as well. I can't take a day to game. You know,
Right.
yeah.
And then I get distracted as well. I got my Cyberpunk World of Cyberpunk book as well, and I was like, well, I have to read through that now. I can't wait until tomorrow. God damn.
Right.
But because this game is so distracting, it's gonna take forever to get this spoiler cast out. But we will do it because people have been asking for it, and I'm glad to see you're ready for
We
it.
will.
Okay, let's get on to the Combroplations, the True Gamer podcast pick for the best PlayStation 4 exclusive game in this tournament. All right, I'm gonna go through these names. I'm gonna be taking notes as I go along, obviously, to make sure we get them all done correctly and whatnot. But you guys are gonna have an argument with me, have a discussion with me regarding what you think is gonna be the best game. Okay?
What you want us to go through this same tournament?
I've got go through the same tournament, but obviously it's gonna be different results because we pick different things and we're all gonna make different arguments and stuff like that.
I see.
And we are gonna come up with our own personal one, so people will know exactly where they went wrong and what the correct game is.
Yeah,
That's what we're
exactly.
gonna be doing right here.
Okay.
All right. Okay, guys. I've got the list in front of me. So first things first. Gravity Rush 2 versus The Last of Us Part 2.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's gonna be the
This
last
one's
one.
a hard one, right? We started off with a hard one.
Yeah.
We thought, let's throw a curveball at you straight away. Should we say on the count of 3 what game wins?
Yeah, got them.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Gravity
Last
Rush.
was
Gravity
Part
Rush
2.
2.
Oh, shit.
Hold on. Whoa.
I got it
Joking.
wrong. Got it wrong.
I actually said Gravity Rush as well. That means Gravity Rush goes through, guys. I'm sorry. No, I'm just...
Get out. Get out.
The
Should we
Last
make
of Us Part 2, yeah.
Unless there's any, because I know there's like 16 titles. Should we skip one category in unless someone really disagrees with something? So we'll go from the.
I think we can blitz through these quite quickly.
Okay.
Like some of them we can blitz through quite quickly because there's no way to know what we would have picked to go in, even though some of them are already done.
Yeah.
But we can blitz through these up quite quickly. Killzone Shadow versus God of War.
God of War.
God of War, exactly.
Yeah.
I did like Killzone Shadow, but it was a launch title and it wasn't for everyone. I know it's a bit heavy. God, I wish they could revive that series again because I did really like it.
Nah,
But
Guerrilla's onto bigger and better things now.
Exactly. If it's against that versus Horizon Zero Dawn, for me personally, I'd go for Horizon.
Yeah.
But I have to say, the aesthetic of those Helghast with the orange eyes in the snow,
And kind of the
fuck me.
steampunk almost. Yeah.
If they
so
brought
good.
Killzone back, like, and revamped it, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we could do with some more high quality shooting based games, you know?
Yeah,
It's something we
definitely.
don't have on the PlayStation, right? Like,
Not really,
There
no.
was Resistance back in the day. I don't know if any of you guys played Resistance. That's apparently maybe possibly getting a revival. There's been tweets going around and stuff like that. I would love to see that come back, and that's a first-person shooter. It's all about like shooting aliens and shit.
Sounds
but-
cool.
Down to shoot
Yeah,
aliens.
Yeah, but also PlayStation. Some people have been bringing this up as a negative, and I'm not really thinking it's negative. But PlayStation's gotten really into the third-person story,
Oh,
linear.
no.
I know, right?
Telling
I know.
an incredible story with amazing gameplay. Ugh.
It's awful.
Right.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh, mate, I have friends that criticise PS4 exclusives for just being over-the-shoulder, dramatic, like third-person action
could you
adventure
imagine?
games, and it's like they're
Could
all
you
so
imagine?
different. Like,
Can you
I
imagine
enjoy
telling
myself too much.
unique, deeply involving, speak to your soul stories with incredible gameplay from all these different perspectives, telling an incredible, bespoke, niche story. Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
pathetic.
Yeah,
Could
Disgusting.
you
awful,
imagine?
Give me
Could
some
you
fucking
imagine?
COD. Let's just respawn, bro.
yeah.
Right. Jesus, COD got it right, and they're not even COD anymore. They're Warzone. They're not even.
Oh,
no
yeah,
one
yeah,
plays
that's
Call
true,
of Duty
yeah.
multiplayer anymore.
I still love I still like the Modern Warfare multiplayer, but let's carry on anyway. Let's not get
I like
sidetracked
it as
into
well.
that.
Yeah, let's not save that for the True Gamer podcast, the actual podcast we do afterwards.
Yeah.
Gran Turismo Sport versus Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Yeah, me Ratchet and Clank as well. Like
Yeah,
I like
I'm a big fan.
I like a driving game as well, but Ratchet and Clank is definitely way more fun, way more cool. And
I would
Yeah.
not play a driving game for 3 hours, but I would jam 3 hours of Ratchet and Clank. That's just
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
Yeah,
You know?
that's true. That's true. Everybody's Golf versus Drive Club.
Not played either, but I'm gonna say Drive Club because I'm not a massive fan of like video game golf. Like I like real golf, it's fine, but video game golf, what's the point? What's the point? Unless it's like that mental golf game. I don't know what it's called. Crazy
Mental-
Golf.
Oh yeah, Crazy Golf, yeah.
Yeah.
Sheps?
I'll go with the crowd on this one. I couldn't care less about either.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for Drive Club as well on this one. I did play a bit of Drive Club when it came out. It was like free on PS Plus at the beginning of the life cycle. It looked gorgeous. That was one thing I had to say. It really showcased the PS4 back in the day. I'm gonna click that one.
Yeah.
Then we have Days Gone versus Infamous First Light. This could be a tough one here.
Not played either of them. Well, I've played more of Days Gone than I have
More of Days Gone.
Infamous. I'm gonna have to say Days Gone. I'm gonna have to.
Did you play Infamous the base game?
I haven't played any Infamous games.
No way,
Oh,
dude!
mate.
You're missing out.
You got
None
to
of them.
jump on Second Son for sure.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks interesting. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you play? Have you played any Spider-Man games?
I've played pretty much all of them apart from like the really
Cool.
old ones.
You know how like the game's great, the story's amazing, but it's got that GTA thing where if you're bored and you've got 20 minutes to kill or an hour to kill or something, you will jump on and just like web around New York.
Yeah.
Infamous has that same thing, so it's basically
that
that.
shit.
Just take out Spider-Man and instead the guy can do like I don't know flame bursts and darts and stuff like that. But it's I'd say definitely pick. I bet you can
It's
pick
great.
Second Son up for freaking nothing right now.
Probably.
Yeah, like a $5
definitely.
somewhere or
Yeah.
something like that. Definitely worth a $5.
For sure.
Infamous First Light was just the standalone DLC from one of the characters. She had like this cool neon power.
Flip, right?
Yeah,
No, fetch.
Fetch, that's
Yeah.
it, Fetch, there we go. And her neon power looked visually
It's sick,
amazing.
yeah.
Amazing and whatnot. And she was a great character and stuff like that. I liked it a lot. But it is a standalone DLC versus a game that has my boy Sam Witwer in it. It's about killing zombies or freakers, I should say, in a whole world. I'm going to go for Days Gone myself.
You got it.
I'm saying you can go for Days Gone for sure.
Yeah.
I'll-
This is why I had 3 people, by the way, and why we had to delay the podcast a little bit, because if it was me and Sheps, say we go for 2 different ones, then what do we do?
Yeah,
I've got a
true.
spicy take coming up. So
Oh boy, here we
Oh,
go, here we
God.
go.
for the
Let's
record, Second Son at CEX, £6, absolutely
Oh,
worth it.
Nothing.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely worth it. Yeah.
Uncharted Lost Legacy versus MLB The Show 20.
I
Yeah.
wonder which
Yeah.
Reskin the game or Uncharted Lost Legacy with
Yeah.
our girl Chloe? Which one are we going for?
let's just throw them a bone and give it to Uncharted, because they need the help. innit?
Yeah, they do.
They do need the help. I mean, what are Naughty Dog really doing nowadays? They got
Fuck
anything good
knows.
going on?
They haven't
can't
released
think of
anything in
anything.
ages.
No,
Yeah,
nothing.
Not at all,
Yeah.
not at all. Anyway, Uncharted The Lost Legacy goes through to the next round.
Of course.
Bloodborne versus Persona 5.
I've heard really good things about Persona 5.
Didn't play
Who
it
from?
either.
Who from?
Who fucking Zahir in it?
It's probably Zahir. It's only Zahir.
Well,
And
I'm
Walshy.
from here, definitely, but I've heard great things when I've been like reading comment sections and reading about it, and a couple of my friends have said it's good, but I got to go for Bloodborne because I think Bloodborne is just outstanding, and I love the Soulsborne games, and I love FromSoft, and I just can't pick any other game but Bloodborne. I'd feel like I was doing myself a disservice.
Fair.
Big agree. I'm going to pick Bloodborne as well. Persona 5, for those of you guys that don't know, is the highest rated PlayStation 4 game. I think it is on Metacritic with like a 97 or 98 out of 100. So there must be something there. There must be something there. I have never played it. I've heard it's really, really, really long, which is daunting for a guy who has a job and a life, and then also YouTube and also other games to play and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there has to be something good there.
For sure,
Like,
there's definitely something there. And a good JRPG is a good laugh, yeah.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard it's the pinnacle of JRPGs at the minute.
Yeah,
That's
I can
high
believe it.
praise, but yeah, I can believe it as well. There's some games that just come out of nowhere and just surprise the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have to-
it's Persona 5. They've had 4 other goes at it, so...
Yeah, that's true.
They've come out of nowhere. Just I didn't even hear about this Persona nonsense before.
To be
And then
honest,
they
I hadn't
slap a
until
5 on it.
Persona 5. Honestly, I hadn't. Yeah.
I heard of Persona 4, but that was just like, I literally just heard the name, and then when 5 came out, I was like, okay, let me have a little look into this. Oh, what's this Joker character? I don't even know what's going on. And also, Zahir told me to play it, which means that automatically it's not getting played.
Yeah, it's a
So,
hard pass, right.
Exactly, hard pass right there.
Oh, man.
The next round, Knack 1 versus the Order 1886. What we got, boys? What we got?
Either.
It's got to be the Order, but I like what Knack 1 did. Like, I like that it was a launch title, and it was them trying to demonstrate what the PS4 could do and all that stuff, and it was kind of quirky, but the problem with it was I was expecting it to be much closer to something like Ratchet and Clank, which it wasn't.
Yeah.
So it's got to be the Order.
Yeah,
So-
I'm gonna go for the Order as well.
I remember playing Knack 1 with my girlfriend back in the day. That was the only game that she would play because it was like cutesy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was the ultimate cheese. Like, I would hear the lines that they were saying. They were like, "Oh, Knack, what's going on?" I'm like, "Oh no, oh god, I can't do this. I can't do this no more."
What's that, Knack? Little Billy fell down the well?
It's like that. It's like that. Oh my god, it was so cheesy. But for what it was trying to do, which was to show like the particle physics and whatnot on the PlayStation, the brand new technology, it did something good there. However, the Order 1886 trumps it in obviously story,
Just about every way, yeah.
in looks, in the cast as well. They could actually act. They could actually voice act as opposed to Knack 1 and whatnot. And I love the little take on the alternate history that the Order did. It's got a solid place in my heart. Love the Order 1886. I'm going to choose that one.
Yeah, same.
All right, now we move on to the next bracket, which is Uncharted 4: A Thief's End versus Yakuza 6: The Song of Life.
Didn't play either. Yakuza 6 actually looks really interesting. But Uncharted 4 is like Indiana Jones the game, so I'm giving it to Uncharted 4.
Yeah, I've got to say Uncharted 4 as well. I mean, I haven't played Yakuza. I've heard good things about the Yakuza franchise, but Uncharted 4, I can't imagine anything really beating that from Yakuza. For me, personally.
I'm in the same boat. I haven't played any of the Yakuzas, but I've always had a look at them, and they always look really cool. They're very stylistic and whatnot. Very cool stuff. But Uncharted 4, this was like the closing chapter on our boy Nathan Drake. This was our final hurrah, at least as we know it for now.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was beautiful looking. The environment's just gorgeous. It was finally realized from like obviously playing Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 1 like I've played on live on stream for everybody for the first time. This was like knowing all of that game in the back in the history of Uncharted. Now seeing this, it was like, yes, this is what they were dreaming of. They were just held back by the technology, and now they've got it. So yeah, I'm gonna go for that.
Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn versus Death Stranding.
I know
Horizon.
Here we go. Here we go. Now
that's the
let's
one I
see
was
what we
waiting
got. Oh, let's go. Yeah. This is gonna upset people, I'm sure. Okay,
Yeah.
George, would you like to take it away for us?
Go on. I think this was a really good pairing, by the way. Horizon Zero Dawn and Death Stranding.
It was a good one, right? Good
it
one. And they're
was,
both coming to PC. They're both on PC right now. So there
Yeah.
were some people that were voting in our poll, like Nirok, for example, who was like, "I'm only voting on PC games because I only play PC games." And I was like, "Well, you're gonna cut yourself out." But go on, vote.
Right. I'm going to say Horizon Zero Dawn because I haven't played Death Stranding, and for the time being, I don't have any intention to play it because I think it looks a bit shit. Not from a visual standpoint or even necessarily a story standpoint. It just looks boring. So
My
I'm gonna
inner
have to say
Kojima is
Horizon.
dying.
Yeah, I think Kojima. I've never played it, but I think he might have lost his touch a little bit this time around, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Go on, Sheps. Would you like to give your take?
Okay.
Waiting.
So I have played. I finished Horizon Zero Dawn, and I
Yeah.
didn't finish Death Stranding. I got to a point in Death Stranding, and as interesting as some of it was, I just didn't care. I didn't care enough to find out. I didn't care to walk across the fucking continent to find out who this dude in the mask was, which I'm sure it's a great story. And some of the acting and the weird decisions, like I came to this one, villager or whatever it is, the guys that are out dotted around that you do submissions for.
Yeah.
And just like, it was so clunky and awkward. I was like, you know what? I just don't, I'm not buying it. It just lost me. So I'm definitely going to give it to Horizon Zero Dawn, which I don't think is that good of a game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is a spicy take right there.
I know.
That is a spicy take.
There's an
'Cause
even spicier take coming.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm interested in that now. I am on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. So,
My opinion here, I actually love both of these games.
Yeah.
I actually genuinely love both of them. I've completed both of them. I haven't got the platinum in Death Stranding yet. I want to go back to get that, but there's been a few games. I want to get it before the PS5 comes out, otherwise I'll never do it.
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn, got that platinumed it. I actually really loved it. The robot dinosaurs aesthetic thing was so my thing. I fucking
100%,
loved that.
yeah.
It was so great. I want to see what's going to happen in the next one. Hopefully they can expand it, make it even better, make the story a bit more deeper, because I think it could go even deeper. It was fairly surface level on the first one, but still good enough for the first in the franchise. Death Stranding, completely weird and quirky. Completely understand when people say it's not their cup of tea, because it's weird. It's a fucking acid trip, right? You have to be in a weird state of mind to go fucking like this game.
Yeah.
But the stuff that happens at the end, can I spoil it now? It's been out for so fucking
Death
long.
Stranding. Yeah, I think you can, yeah.
Go for it.
So the twist at the end where he's a former BB is unbelievable, and I did not see that coming. Maybe I'm
BB
dumb.
Mean?
So BB is this. I'm turning in my chair so you can see the BB behind me. The BB's that thing that's in the bottle. They're called BBs. They're usually not engineered. They're taken from a mother's womb specifically for the purpose of detecting these Death Stranding things. These BTs they call them.
They're not born. There was something about it that they haven't been born, and they're permanently kept in that state so that they can detect this thing. So okay, that's interesting. That would have been a really great hook. I just feel like I wasn't kept hooked. I literally walked 500 miles.
Yeah.
And I was going to have to walk 500 more, and I wasn't willing to do it.
That's the thing. That's it. Well, that was really cool. And the big twist, just so you know, George, is that once you're a BB, you work in this line of business for a certain while until you become too old to work, and then you just die in that bottle thing. Okay. So it was interesting that he was alive after it, and he became a porter or whatever it was after.
That is pretty interesting. Yeah.
So it was interesting. It was cool, but the walking on the fucking level ground and then being tripped up by something or losing your balance for no fucking reason and all the other crap like that was so ridiculous that it did take away from it.
It did some good things. Look, I want to defend it in a little bit. I thought it was very picturesque. I actually kind of enjoyed, in a weird way, I kind of enjoyed the walking in a sense and having to bounce because it was quite realistic. It had these great bespoke tracks that would come on. So like the sound design and the music and all that stuff was brilliant. The score was great.
Yeah, I can imagine it was.
It was just
technology as well. It was a 30 FPS game. It looked like 60. It looked like 60. I don't know how they did that.
Yeah, it looked great, and there were things in it that I can see hooking people, like getting those roads built and all that stuff, right? Like there was stuff to it and making sure your equipment's still working and things like that. Personally, I found it kind of a chore to do that. And I don't know, like it just, unlike Spider-Man, where you will web around for an hour, or drive around in GTA obeying the laws and stuff, right? Like
as you would, yeah.
It didn't have that, so I never found myself coming back to it. So Horizon, because it had just that brilliant aesthetic.
Yeah.
I'm going to upset people, and I will choose Death Stranding in this one, even though it's lost because you two picked Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I liked Horizon. I still like Horizon Zero Dawn. I love it. It's fantastic. But this was a once in a lifetime type game. We're never going to get a Death Stranding again, I don't think.
Do you know what's funny as well is I preferred it's Sam Porter Bridges, right?
Yeah,
I way prefer him to Aloy. I think there's so much more character in Sam than Aloy. I just didn't vibe with the game.
He had
strong claim. Aloy's a brilliant character.
I hate Aloy. I think there's nothing there. I think there's nothing there. I know.
Just gonna take a step back, lads. While you guys fight.
There's a spicier take coming. There is a spicier take coming. I felt Aloy was really poorly written. I felt
It's not safe to come back yet. Hold on.
Yeah, hold on, let me just get this out. I feel like Aloy was really poorly written. She shows no growth at all. And as part of that, with what they were doing with Aloy, I really felt that they were beating us over the head with this weird sexist, everybody that's good's female, anybody that's bad or incompetent's male theme throughout the whole game. And
that's the Outer Worlds, that.
Yeah, I really found that to be like on the nose. I like every time I would interact with one of these things or we'd learn about one, it was like I was getting punched in the face with the women good, men bad thing.
Yeah, that is.
And Aloy never grows. That's my big beef, because I wanted Aloy to. She just starts out as like this suit, and I know her history. Right, I finished the game, but it starts out and she's already this like hyper genius, and she experiences all these new things for the first time, but it's nothing ever startles her. There's no wonder and shock, or there's no learning curve. And I feel like if there was just that I could have really vibed with her and found her a really compelling protagonist. But she just, I don't know, it was lacking.
Do you know what? There's a few things that you've said that I did feel while playing the game, but it didn't impact me as much as like yours impacted you, obviously, and which is fine. It doesn't matter. We each in their own and whatnot. But there were some times where I was like, you know what? She seems out of place. Like she seems way more smarter than everyone else. Seemed like a cave person in comparison to her. But I was like, maybe that's just to further the plot, and I just continued enjoying it and shooting dinosaurs. And then
an outsider, wasn't it? Because Ross taught her. Who was was he a Death Seeker at one point?
Something like that. But he would not have known the stuff that she ends up knowing. The thing is, like, she just absorbs all this new information. It's like, cool, I've got it, right? I'm down to say she's like some hyper genius and all of that.
It's in the focus. That's what I thought it was. The focus stores information from where she's been and what she's experienced.
I just felt that she never shows that any new experience is impacting her at all. Like, she should see something for the first time and really have to struggle to take it in or learn this new thing. And I'm cool with her learning quickly and stuff, but like, it just felt like as soon as she saw a new thing, she just knew it, you know? And because of that, she just didn't really grow. It was just like, it was the Jedi Fallen Order all over again, where he remembered how to jump, you know?
I was just played Fallen Order, so I don't get that.
That was
fun.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's fun. I definitely play Fallen Order because it's, you know, it's space wizards with laser swords, but it isn't
as well.
It wouldn't make its way onto this list, or it wouldn't make its way very far on this list.
Yeah. I mean, there's Knack 2 on the list. How could
exactly? But it is good fun. You know, you running around with a lightsaber. How can you beat that?
Yeah, I can imagine.
So yeah, that's one spicy take.
That is a spicy take right there. People are
it's gonna get spicier apparently. I don't even know how this is gonna work. All right.
Bloodborne wins Game of the Year for me. Game of the
George is probably feeling really happy, like after all the George has bad takes, and then we've got suddenly Shep's over here dropping his spicy takes. I'm sure people are going to start saying, do you know what? I don't think George is the one with the bad takes anymore.
Well, in the same segment, I did say Death Stranding's a bit shit. So maybe
that is true. You've completely nullified it now. It's like, okay, now we're on level ground again.
All of my opinions are correct, and George, you are right. Death Stranding is shit. So,
okay. All right. Next bracket is Neo 2 versus Marvel Spider-Man PS4. Neo 2. No, it's not going to be Neo 2, is it?
I haven't played any of the Neo, or I think it's Dragon something, which is in the same like vein. I haven't played those, but I know there are people that it's a really dark story, and your actions have consequences. Like I believe it's Neo and the related things. One of the games you can choose at the end. I think it's something like, you save your sister or daughter or something, but if you do, then you are completely forgotten.
Shit.
So like, and if you select that, the game file's wiped from the drive. You can't get it. It's unrecoverable. It's the end of your, like, that guy is gone forever.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
That sounds hardcore.
Yeah.
But if you choose the other option, what happens?
I guess your daughter dies, or I can't remember what it is, but that's your, like, dilemma, right? So it's very Witcher-esque in that sense, where, like, there may not be a good answer, just, like, a worse and even worse, you know?
Have I fallen asleep on Neo? Have I fallen asleep on it? Because that sounds fantastic. What you just described right there.
My brother is really into this franchise. I'll get a thing from him, but the list of what to play. But it's full of dilemmas and stuff like that. Like I think in the first of these games, Drakengard, I think it's called.
Okay.
You bond with dragons, and they take conceptual things from you. So like, it can take you have to give something to bond with the dragon, and it can be like, you know, your voice or your memories, you know. So you're you, but you don't know that you have a daughter or something, right? Like you're you, but you lose your ability to like to feel fear or to feel pain or to feel anything, right? So it's this weird thing. And then when you beat one of these games and you come back and there's like little shadow things, demon-y type deals that you fight, it turns out that those are basically, I think it's something like corrupted souls of children, and the second time you play you can understand them, and the entire time they're terrified of you.
Oh.
You know, they're just like, oh no, he's coming, and it feels like you're fighting children, but they look like demon-y things. It's fucked. Shit. Yeah. My brother loves these games. Like, loves these games. I wouldn't be surprised. Is this? I think it's Drakengard, and then that Drakengard becomes Neo, I believe.
Okay. That sounds really interesting.
I'm on. So you might be crossing over different JRPGs. I don't know. I'm talking out my arse. I'm totally out of my field right here. Drakengard is related to Nier Automata. Sorry, that's part of that group. And Team Ninja make Neo, and their previous games are Ninja Gaiden, Dead or Alive.
Then
you may be
made
crossing,
Ninja Gaiden.
They made Ninja Gaiden, yeah, Team Ninja.
Okay,
yeah,
then
yeah.
I did cross those over. So the one I was talking about was Drakengard becoming Nia, not Neo.
I need to play Neo, and I didn't realise it was by the creators of Ninja Gaiden. I need to
play this Drakengard game, bruv. I'm hearing more about this. I want to play that.
I'll get some deets from my brother on that. But
yeah, definitely.
I didn't know it was made by Ninja Gaiden. Can fuck right off. That game was way too hard, and I was worried that that's what Ghost was going to be if you went like all ninja-y. I thought from the rumors that for Ghost you wouldn't be able to wear like samurai armor to do stealth stuff. You'd have to wear like ninja type stuff.
Yeah. And
that then, you know, if you get in a fight, you're pretty fricked. And I was kind of hoping for it a bit, but I was not hoping it would be as hard as Ninja Gaiden was, because I remember that game being tough.
Yeah. And I think Neo is it's sort of in the vein of Dark Souls and Sekiro and stuff like that.
Right, okay, cool.
So it's like a mix of Dark Souls, Sekiro.
It's a test
Ninja
yourself
Gaiden.
kind of game, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. Looks great though. I want to play them.
So to be clear, I thought I was talking about Nia, not Neo. So there we go. Sorry about
the Automata.
No. Do you know what? You just discovered. We may have just discovered a really cool game that I never would have heard of otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
So this could be fucking amazing right here. Yeah, we'll trace it back to the roots of this podcast. And be like, this is how I got introduced to this game, and it's amazing. Yeah. But it sounds cool. But back to the original topic: Neo 2 or Spider-Man PS4.
I gotta say Spider-Man.
We went so far from it. It was completely Erica.
We really did.
I'll give it Spider-Man as well, I guess.
Spider-Man it is. The next bracket: Detroit Become Human or Concrete Genie.
I didn't play either. I'll give it to Detroit.
I played Detroit Become Human. I didn't play Concrete Genie. Concrete Genie is about being basically a graffiti artist, but there is like a sad story in it as well. I've seen lots of gameplay of it. It's very cartoony. It's not my flavor, but Detroit Become Human with the heavy set of voice actors and the multiple different endings and stuff like that, and the AI robots rising up and stuff like that. Very my thing. I liked it a lot. How about you, George?
I'm going to have to say Detroit Become Human. I haven't played either, but Detroit's more my cup of tea.
When it came out, it sort of took over the internet a little bit. Like, people were obviously, there was like posting pictures of the little blue ring on the side of their temple and whatnot and stuff like that. You saw it everywhere. Yeah. The next bracket: Infamous Second Son or Until Dawn.
Infamous Second Son. Not even a question.
That's a really difficult one because there's two games that I don't have much experience of at all. I'm going to say that Infamous Second Son appeals more to me because of the gameplay, whereas Until Dawn's obviously just more choice-based, sort of like Walking Dead style, like Telltale style, like storytelling, which I'm not a massive fan of, so I'm just going to say Infamous.
Yeah.
I haven't played it Until Dawn. I watched a playthrough of someone playing it, and it was very cool. It was star-studded. It had that Hayden
Oh yeah,
what's the chick from Heroes?
Hayden.
Play.
Oh fuck, what's her name? Hayden Petinia or something like that.
Yeah, I know.
I forget
that
her name.
actress.
Yeah, the really, really, really nice looking lady and whatnot.
Yeah.
Fucking had a crush on her back in the day and whatnot.
Yeah, I remember those leaks.
Oh yeah. God, I wish this was the Conversations podcast so we could just pause everything. And they were like, all right, how were they? Let's not talk about that. And the whole idea about like you could have characters die in that game and then that would affect the rest of the gameplay, that was very cool and very unique and stuff like that. I did like it a lot, but Infamous Second Son really spoke to me, I guess because it was superpowers and fucking Superman and shit like that.
Hard to beat that stuff, yeah.
It's hard to
Until
beat
Dawn had a really cool tone as well. Like it felt like one of those horror movies that played on like horror tropes and like stereotypical horror things, and I think it did a really good job. But again,
I'm normally not
I prefer
a fan
to
of
watch
that
someone
stuff.
play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You're a member of Conversation Sheps. You've got bad takes. Remember that.
True.
The next bracket, PT. In brackets, I put the video game, even though it's kind of a teaser. It's kind of a loose definition. And Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow
George.
of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus by Sheps right there. George?
This is really hard because I think they're both great games. But I think based on what PT did, and the fact that people are still finding stuff out about the game now, I'm going to say PT. It was just so, as far as horror games go, I think it was the best horror game experience you can have, and it was just a playable teaser. Well, for modern gaming anyway.
Oh,
We're
no.
not talking about like old Resident Evil or like old Silent Hill or anything. This is like,
Totally agree with you.
Yeah.
But I'm not giving it
PT.
to PT because it literally scared me out of a chair. So
It was terrifying. It was fucking terrifying.
yeah.
Yeah. Good though. I think PT's my option.
I'm voting for PT as well. This again, it's another Kojima thing, isn't it? Where like, I cannot. There's nothing that's come out like a teaser or anything that's come out that has been talked about this much, that has been played so much, that's been deeply like deconstructed as much as this game right here. It scared the shit out of literally everybody. No one was immune to it, and there was constant talk about how to get through the constant mazes, because it was like a maze going through all the doors and coming back round the beginning and stuff like that.
That was terrifying to me. Just
absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Because you felt trapped. You were like, well, I'm in the same place I was, even though I went out somewhere else. What the fuck do I do? You felt trapped. It was so cool. And
did you see the thing they found out recently? They went into the game and they managed to no-clip. And behind the player character, the woman is always there, like no matter where you are.
That's
so
terrifying.
That's like a developer like hack, innit? It's like, how can you keep the asset loaded in, but not have to wait for it to load in to avoid popping? Put it behind the character so they can't see it. Yeah. But just thinking about that as a normal person perspective, that fucker's behind me all the time.
All the time, yeah.
Fuck
Even
off,
though you may not be able to see it, they put it there. It's terrifying,
my God.
man.
I would go one
Jesus
step
Christ.
further and say that I would actually, even though it's a game I would never buy and play, I wish they would have made that. I wish PT existed as a full game, because I think it's one of those games that could push game development, the way designers think about gaming and storytelling and mechanics like that, to another level, which sounds strange, even because, look, I'm not going to play it, but being able to tell a story that way, or just know about human beings enough that you can really fuck with them that much, is important to pushing gaming forward, even in a way that, like, just for puzzle mechanics in other games, when those devs have played PT and know how this stuff works, that they can think, how can I work this into God of War 5? Okay, we can do a time shift. And so instead of the same room, he comes into the same moment or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think so. I wish it was made. I hope they do make it. I'm never fucking touching it. It's not even. I'm not going to let it into my home
for them to make it.
But I hope they make it.
There's all those rumors that apparently like Sony's trying to strike a deal with Kojima to make like a Silent Hill game, because clearly he can make this. It's all rumors and it's very, very, very loose. But God, that would be so cool. That would be the best.
It would bring horror
amazing.
Games back into the mainstream again.
Right? I mean, Outlast was the last thing that I remember that I was like a full game that I was like, you know what, this is quite scary. And that was very rudimentary. It was like, based on jump scares and stuff like that.
Yeah, run away from big guys, you hear them clanking behind you, stuff like that.
This took it in a completely different direction.
Yeah, a Silent Hill game would just be fucking hell, that'd just be crazy. I can't even voice how amazing that'd be.
There we go. So that one's different to everyone else's choice right there. Everything else is pretty much the same right there. Yeah. And the next one, Knack 2 versus The Last Guardian. There's no choice here, lads. There's no choice.
Yeah,
it's gotta be Knack 2, right?
Got Knack 2, yeah.
Oh my god, you know what? I'm gonna go again. I'm the kind of dickhead that's in the little conversations in the corner of the internet about shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote for Last Guardian because do you guys know about the backstory of Last Guardian?
Nope.
So this game, the last game was Shadow of the Colossus they made. This was Team Eco, right?
Yeah.
I think there was something like a 9-year gap between Shadow of the Colossus and The Last Guardian. In that time, they brought out, Naughty Dog brought out Uncharted, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3, Last of Us, Uncharted 4 in that time, and Sony was still funding Team Eco while they were making this game. Explain to me what you have to say to your bosses to allow you to just work on one project for nine years that didn't. It came out. It didn't even make that big of a splash. It was like, okay,
that's true.
You've got a bird dog, no problem. We'll see what happens.
After PewDiePie did a Let's Play of it, it started getting a bit more traction because people appreciate the art style and the way it told its story and its puzzle solving. I think The Last Guardian was brilliant.
Yeah,
I think it was great. Yeah,
I never really played it, but I just feel like Knack didn't do anything. Even the first Knack didn't do much. Right, it didn't do much in terms of the mechanics. Right, it was cool to see the particle stuff, but that was stuff that the PlayStation was capable of. It was just the first game that did it, but not in a revolutionary way. It just happened to be the first one that used it because it came out first. And so Knack 2, I guess, is pretty much along those ways. The Last Guardian, at least it's niche. It's got some story to it. It's got an interesting art style. I don't think you can say that for Knack. I will say that if it was Ratchet and Clank versus The Last Guardian's getting slapped. It's not even close. But for this matchup,
The Last Guardian wins.
And in the final bracket, Dreams versus Ghost of Tsushima.
This is such an unfair one.
This is not a good matchup. Like these two things do not. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like Dreams allows for so much potential and just creative outlet. I saw someone recently, unrelated kind of related, console exclusives, that made the Halo Infinite trailer in Dreams.
Yes,
and
they made Halo Infinite in Dreams.
It looked better.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
But
that's what's insane about Dreams. The creativity is off the charts. If you've got a creative mind, you can make incredible things over there.
Yeah.
Avatar,
but very hard to get into.
The Last Airbender, that TV show. Someone is recreating the TV show in Dreams, and they've been working on it for like over 100 days. And fucking hell, it looks good. And they've got one of the voice actors from the show to actually voice one of the characters.
Sick. That's sick.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. All built in Dreams. It's mental.
I don't even know how to use Dreams, but
mate,
no, neither do I.
I'm a this much creative. For those of you guys that are listening on the audio podcast, it's about the size of my penis. Like
it's not a solid 1.8.
Yeah, 1.8 inches. That's about that much creative, basically. And I've used Cinema 4D and stuff like that. I know a bit about that, so I thought, let me try it. But even for someone who knows a little bit about Cinema 4D like me, I couldn't understand it. There are people out there that do. They're way smarter than I am, far, far smarter than I am, and they are creating things like that. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah,
that's
it's
my
mad.
thing.
It's very cool. So I just, because it's not for me, because I have no creativity, and it's not. In a way, it's not a game. It's kind of like if you were putting Final Cut or Photoshop up against Ghost, Do you know what I mean? Like,
I get what you mean.
That is not a tool to take anything away from Dream. It's actually a compliment.
Yeah, of course not.
But so I'll give it to Ghost because as a mindless form of entertainment, for exactly what I want, which is great combat and oh my god, is that game gorgeous? Yes. I'll give it to Ghost. But I feel like Dream is probably in its own category. I don't even think it's fair to have it in this list.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, while we're saying about the stuff how it's not good for us in dreams and whatnot, and we're not really saying like Ghost is amazing because it is, but the Dreams is amazing in its own right. It's in its own area, and it's just not the area that we're in. And also, this tournament is probably going to be for the masses and stuff like that. So it's probably not going to be for the best one. Although I'm sure we'll all enjoy all of the fruits that come from the many hours of labor that everyone puts into Dreams, like the Halo stuff and whatnot. Fucking amazing stuff.
Actually, question for you. Dreams, the stuff that's created on that. They make playable game levels, right? Like, you know how GTA they make their own custom maps. Maybe we should do a stream just doing some of the Dreams stuff, because I think that on its own would be cool.
There's
good. Some really cool stuff on there.
Yeah.
The first day I tried, I did buy the game and I've still got it, and I played it. And there was already stuff in there because it went into beta before. There was already some really cool little games in there. There was one where you was in a museum and you had to try and destroy as much stuff without the guards noticing you. I was like, that's so cool. Fucking cool. It was a little 5-minute game, but it was amazing. And I played that on stream. Now there's probably even more stuff and even better stuff. So we could do that in the stream. That'd be great.
Definitely.
All right, that's how it goes. Let me just read out quickly the people that have gone into the quarterfinals now. Last of Us Part 2, God of War, Ratchet and Clank, Drive Club, Days Gone, Uncharted Lost Legacy, Bloodborne, The Order 1886, Uncharted 4, Thieves End, Horizon Zero Dawn, Marvel's Spider-Man PS4, Detroit Become Human, Infamous Second Son, PT, The Last Guardian, and Ghost of Tsushima. Oh, there we go. You held that in. That was great.
Excuse me.
So bless you. Okay, those are the guys that got into the quarterfinals. Shall we now narrow it down to is that the quarterfinals or semifinals? Whichever one.
Some number
That's
of
in
finals.
The next round.
Yeah,
some number of finals. Shall we now narrow it down, lads? It is The Last of Us Part 2 versus God of War. How can you decide this? How?
I can.
Go
I
on,
can
George.
decide it.
Go on,
I think
George.
it's gotta be God of War, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love Last of Us Part 2, but God of War is just the cream of PlayStation 4 exclusives.
Yeah.
I think.
Ed?
I'm gonna say God of War as well. I did love The Last of Us Part 2, even though we went into it kind of on edge. We were like, are the rumors that they're saying, are they going to make, is it bad? Have they fucked it up? Yeah. It turned out to be amazing, and everyone was just blowing shit out of proportion and stuff like that. But God of War, I'm going to say it now so everyone knows what page I'm on. God of War is my favorite game of all time. Not just of the PlayStation 4 generation, not of PlayStation, of all time. It's hit me in a way that I didn't know it was going to hit me. It created a character that I was just kind of lukewarm on and turned it into one of my favorite characters ever. The relationship that they did between the father and son and whatnot, I never knew I could feel that. Obviously, not being a father, I was like, I don't know what this feels like, and they made me feel something amazing.
Yeah.
I was floored by this game, absolutely floored. Even more than I was in the first Last of Us, that also floored me, but this was on a whole new level. Yeah. And of course it looked great, and it was running on PS4, it was all great and stuff like that. Sheps.
Yeah. Here's my spicy take.
Oh boy, here we go. Alright guys, brace yourself for the hit.
God of War has just an incredible story. The story's better. And it has the father and son dynamic, or the father and child, right, that The Last of Us 1 had, which is the best kind of story. It's the ultimate story, right?
Yeah.
I have never had a game make me this emotionally taxed as The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
When I finished God of War, I could start from the beginning, or I could have put in a new game or watch Netflix. I took a 3-day break from stuff after The Last of Us 2, and
big agree.
They made decisions that I would have changed. You know, there are things in there that I would have changed or added or whatever, and not particularly major actually. And we can discuss that at some other point, I guess, if anybody wants to know, or George, if you're interested. But
so we we'll do it afterwards.
Yeah, but and I thought about this really long and hard since I sent that tweet to you about it not being fair for those two to go up against each other. Not because I think overall probably the last of God of War maybe is the better, let's say definitely the story. I got to say, as amazing as the combat and stuff is in God of War, it's insane in The Last of Us. It's so smooth. There's so much like creativity. If you guys have seen those gifs from is it Lee Sung? I think it is on Twitter. Like the combat in it is mind blowing. But it's, I don't even know what the right way to say it is, but it was so emotionally, it was like a real genuine roller coaster. I was tired and drained in like, I guess, a good way, because it impacted me, despite it maybe not being the greatest story. But then when you get those flashbacks with Ellie and Joel and how they know exactly what the father-daughter storyline is, that it's still there, you know? Overall, look, I think the father-child storyline is better than a revenge story, but it just hit me in a way that no other game has. And I think, at least for now, I'm going to give it to The Last of Us 2. That might change. It may be that I go back and play them both at a later date and give it back to God of War, but for right now, it's The Last of Us 2. Is my game
both respectable choices.
Yeah.
I can't even argue against anything you said there. Like, genuinely, like, if I had to make a case for The Last of Us, that would be the exact words I would use to describe it. Everything you said right there. Because it was the emotional taxing that you just don't get from any other game. It was, as I've got my points about the what's the girl's name, Abby section and whatnot. If they just cut it down to about 25%, because we only needed to know that the reason why she was going after everybody, and that was it. We didn't need to play all the days again and stuff like that. If we had just got that would have been great, and it would have made this game quite perfect in my opinion. But the way that it emotionally taxes you, just the way you said it, emotionally taxing, it's like you've never, like no other game has ever done before.
I've never experienced unique. That No. I've never experienced that. And because... Go on, bro.
I was going to say, and also the as you said about the Ellie and Joel relationship, I cried live on stream when I was playing this game for the first time at that Space Center mission and whatnot.
I was choked the fuck up. I was really choked up. That was... And so, for the record, I wasn't sure about this game. You got it, I didn't. And I watched you play the first bit of it on stream. We got to that first scene.
Yeah.
And a little way in, I was like, okay, I'm sold. The thing that I was invested in, which is Joel and Ellie's relationship, is intact. It's entirely there. They know exactly what they're doing. I stopped watching your stream. I waited for you to finish it because I wasn't sure what was coming up. I didn't know if I wanted to give Naughty Dog my money from everything we had heard, although I stayed away from spoilers. I played the game. That scene, which I had seen with you, still made me almost cry. I mean, I was on the verge.
Yeah.
To be fair, you're a man and you do it in the privacy of your own room. Right?
Exactly.
In front of people, right?
That's exactly it. And I played the whole thing. Absolutely loved it. It was incredible. So, I just, yes. Overall, I do genuinely believe God of War, there's no way you can say that's a bad pick. Not at all.
No.
And the difference between these two is just literally how it made me feel afterwards. Like, after God of War, I could have jumped on Call of Duty. We could have jumped on COD and played a few games, and that was not true after The Last of Us. And I don't know how to put what that means into words, just that it made a really big impact, and so I'm...
Yeah.
And obviously, therefore, you know what I'm picking, right? I'm going to give it to The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
You got to hand it to Sony at this point, right? Where they've managed to foster this group of developers and writers and directors and stuff like that to be able to give you an amazing, completely fictional Norse mythology story that makes you feel things for like a father and a son, and then on the other side, almost father and daughter. Technically they are father and daughter in my eyes anyway, but visceral, emotional story that can break you down to your very core. all on the same platform. You just really got to fucking hand it to them for that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's all the different themes, like that video where it showed all the PlayStation 4 exclusives one after the other with those really nice transitions and cuts.
Yeah.
That video, anyone that wants to shit talk this generation of PS4 exclusives and they're all the same game, show them that, because it shows how different they all are. Like it blows me away. Crazy.
This generation's gonna go down in history. Like we have the beginnings and whatnot. We have like the Pongs and stuff like that. It's like this started gaming. Then we have the GBA era where we're playing like Pokemon and stuff like that on the go. Defining moments. This is gonna be another defining moment where.
Yeah.
And The Last of Us said it perfectly as well. Where like we can do visceral experiences in movies. Why can't we do that in video games where I agree, and I think Sheps, we've said this before, where video games are a way better form of entertainment than movies are.
100%.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So
people that
this
turn
is
their
going to
nose
define
up
it.
at games, it's just
Joe
just
Rogan.
some weird like, oh god, no, not Joe Rogan. Look, he's only played Quake. That's the only game he's ever fucking played. I love Joe. I do. I love.
Yeah, me too. But I thought it was funny that Joe smoke weed and do acid in an isolation tank was saying that games are a waste of time. But
Yeah.
like, there aren't many movies I would put up there like Endgame. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
only a handful of movies, and we have 16 games here. Just the only PlayStation exclusives. You know, these aren't other third parties. This isn't Halo. You know, we're not talking about all games or PC exclusives. We're talking about PlayStation only.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can play a Viking war movie basically for 40 hours, and you get to make all the decisions and experience everything, and when you get to see their relationship evolve because you got there, you brought Atreus and Kratos to that point. Way better than movies. Way better than movies.
Yeah.
100%.
God, I love video games. God, I love
So
video
do I.
games.
Man. I'm so glad they exist. Like, what
In
the
it.
fuck?
What the fuck would we do? Talk to girls? Jesus Christ!
Bro,
None of that
I'll do that
nonsense.
anyway, man. Bro, like,
We don't mean over Twitter, okay? Jesus Christ.
yeah, not on the TL. It's got to be in the DM.
That's right.
The next bracket is Ratchet of Clank versus Drive Club.
Ratchet and Clank, man, come on.
It's gotta be Ratchet and
As
Clank.
much as I respect the Drive Club's aesthetic and how they like use the technology, Ratchet and Clank.
Have you actually played Ratchet and Clank yet?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, all right,
The
cool.
new one.
No, but the brand new one coming on PS5, and I haven't played that yet. No.
Oh, well, no. Wait, did they not release a remaster?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
did.
did.
They did. There's
I
a
haven't played
recent
Ratchet
one.
and Clank in years. I played like someone like PS2.
Yeah, I haven't played one since I think it was the first or second one that came out on PS4, but I'm saving myself for the next one. I'm not going to touch it until that, because
I'm saving myself for the actual wedding day, for the actual day.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
going to
right.
touch myself or anything.
That's exactly.
The next bracket, Days Gone versus Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Uncharted.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I think so. Uncharted Lost Legacy was one of my favourite PS4 exclusives. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great, especially because we got to see more of Chloe and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
Just a character that we
I'll happily see
loved
more of
from
Chloe.
to. Oh yeah, I mean,
Simps.
Show me, just one sec. Rule 34.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. You've probably already got that bookmarked. It's okay.
I've
so
got it
there we
up
go.
right now. I'm just in the other tab, you know.
But if anyone could see him right now, his hands are underneath the table. You know what he's doing. Man.
Hey, look, they're up, man. They're up.
There we
They're
go.
up.
I would have. Sheps, did you say Uncharted?
I haven't played any of the Uncharted games.
Ooh,
I've never played an Uncharted game.
ooh.
Just early on, this is going to be a hot take. Early on, because I did have, like an N64 and stuff, and I played things like Lara Croft from back in the day. The first time I saw it, I'm like, this is just a rip-off of Tomb Raider, and I don't care. And that stuck with me for years. And then by the time Uncharted 4 came out, which I was actually I looked at it and was like, wow, this looks cool. I'm like, I'm 4 games in, I don't know any of these characters. I'm just not going to do it. But I might have to borrow Uncharted 4 off you.
You should play all of them.
Yeah, I might have to.
I think the Nathan Drake collection 1 was free on PS Plus, and it was just before that I went out and bought it, and then I started my Let's Play for the first time on the channel, and it was like the next month it was free. I was like, God damn it! Even though it's worth the money, even though it's worth it, because it's like what is it, £5, £10, whatever it is.
Such good games.
The whole series is fantastic. I haven't played 3 yet. That's the only one I haven't played, but it's great so far. But I did get that feeling as well, actually, Ships. When I played 4 for the first time, because that was my first Uncharted as well, I felt a little bit lost. I knew Nathan Drake. I knew he was a cool guy, and I'd seen the trailers of Sully and whatnot. I was like, okay, he's going to be the wisecracker on the side. Cool, no problem.
Yeah.
But I didn't know any of the characters, and when we saw like Elena, I was like, Who's
this bitch?
Yeah, well, like, if there's any
who's this
character
bitch?
death,
I was a little bit nicer than that.
like I say, I don't actually know what happened. I've only been to a couple of your streams, which, incredible zero death streams.
Oh yeah, 0 deaths. I didn't die once, and did on crushing as well.
Exactly, but if there's like a character death, it doesn't mean anything to me because I haven't played with these characters for 3 games. You know, so I might have to just get the collection and jam it.
Yeah. Okay. I would have said Days Gone. Which one did you say, Sheps?
I'll give it to Uncharted.
Uncharted. Okay.
Hey.
Days Gone goes out. I'm sorry, Sam. I'm sorry. I fought for you.
No, fuck you, Sam. Officials conversations. Fuck you.
Oh,
You're not Troy Baker.
my god.
But he was Darth Maul.
That is true.
Okay, actually, he's
as
not
soon
better
as
than Troy Baker.
as soon as I was saying that, I'm like, fuck, it is Darth Maul, but
Yeah.
he's not better than Troy Baker. So
Doesn't he play Sidious as well in like the games?
I think he might.
he voices
he plays a
2
lot of
people,
voices.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of like an actor with his voice.
It's almost like he can
Yeah.
act with his voice, right? It's strange, right?
It's really
I mean,
odd.
to be
They'd
fair-
a job for that somewhere.
Yeah,
To be fair, Troy Baker voices nearly everybody in the whole gaming industry.
It's
so
true.
He is everyone. So everyone should
Yeah.
just.
I heard that
bow
Troy
down to him.
Baker actually voices Sam Witwer, so
I heard that too. That's exactly what I heard.
That's amazing.
All right, Uncharted Lost Legacy goes through to the next round, and then in this bracket we have Bloodborne versus The Order 1886. Be gentle.
Bloodborne for me.
I didn't
it's got
play.
Bloodborne.
Yeah, I didn't play it, but I'm gonna give it to Bloodborne.
Oh, I played both of them. I did like Bloodborne. I'm actually 1 trophy away from the fucking platinum, but it's a trophy that I can't do by myself. I need someone to guide me through one of these chalice dungeons.
Shit.
If there's someone out there that wants to play it with me on PS4, get me through this fucking platinum trophy, please, please, please. It's bugging me every day. I mean, I have to scroll down my trophy list, but every day I see it. Then I'm like, you're mocking me. I know you are.
The chalice dungeon's difficult. I never delved into any of that stuff. I just played the main story, did the secret bosses, and that was it.
They're difficult because you can't come out of them. If you come out, everything resets. So you have to like go, and the deeper you go, the longer the chalice dungeons are. Like you've got to go through 3 or 4 layers to them. And then there are some of them that are like, oh, you get half health for this one, and it's like, I've got no health left. And some of them like one hit you and things like that. So I need a person with me to get me through some.
Mate, if I could help you, I mean, I don't know if my character's good enough for it. I only just finished the main story and then sort of left, but
I think if there's just 2 people, it will help because it will be like distracting the big bosses. We can distract them and they'll work like that. But anyway, somebody out there.
I want to play Bloodborne again. I'll happily help you with that.
There we go. I got a buddy now. We can go through the chalice dungeons.
Yeah, well done for you, Ed. First friend.
First friend.
Achievement unlocked.
One sec, let me just message my mum and let me know. Mum, I've made a new friend. Here we go. So Bloodborne takes the win there. I'm sorry, The Order 1886. I love you so much. You're great in so many ways, but the people have spoken.
I will be honest. I didn't play Bloodborne, but the thing that bugged me about The Order 1886 is how short it is, how little gameplay there is, and the worst of all of these sins, that, at least in my opinion, it was entirely designed to push a second game.
Yeah, that's the thing. There was a big hook at the end, and it was very apparent to anyone who did play it, which wasn't too many people. It wasn't many people, but it was very clear that they were trying to set up a sequel. And while I enjoyed everything that was in it, but it was a very short game, it was very clear they were trying to set up a second one. And for you, as you're saying, Ships, that's an ultimate sin, right?
Yeah, I just feel like they could have added those other 6 hours of gameplay in, wrapped it up, and had them, wrapped it up.
The sequel, which was 6 hours, clearly.
Yeah, absolutely, right. wrapped it up in a 15-hour game, and then I would have been really into it, give a hook at the end, and I'll be like, wow, okay, we actually had a story, it resolved, so I feel like I got a good game experience. Yeah, I want another one, you know?
Yeah.
I just, because we didn't resolve anything, it felt like they were just trying to weasel more money out of me to get me to pay another $49.99 for another 6-hour game, you know?
Yeah, it's like a good way to get people interested in a sequel is to make the first game fun and good and enjoyable.
Right, exactly.
That's the thing. You know, I do have to wonder about that, because it's very clear that these guys are talented. They made this game look gorgeous,
100%.
and the story that they did craft was actually genuinely good.
Yeah.
How could they have? I mean, why did they go like, oh, well, okay, we're about 35%, 40% way through the story, and the end. It's like, what? Well, hold on a minute. Why would you just stop there? Why wouldn't you go the full 100 yards? You know what I mean? I don't know how they did that, and unfortunately, the fucking development company, Ready at Dawn Studios, they moved on to making VR titles, not specifically for PlayStation VR, but for any VR system. And now they've been sold to Facebook, so they're not even part of the PlayStation family anymore. So we're probably never even going to get a sequel, which, I mean, they've used up all the goodwill of the people anyway, with the first one being so short. But if they had made one, I would have definitely loved to see it. Yeah. But yeah, it's never going to happen now. That game's just going to die now. It's just going to be a forgotten memory.
It's got a lot
of
a shame
to me.
As a franchise, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, that dies out, and we move on to the next side. It's Uncharted 4 versus Horizon Zero Dawn. All right, this is going to get tough now. Now you see how it's getting tough.
It does, man, honestly.
George, I'm going to leave you to last, because I know that both of these are games that you like.
Yep.
Sheps, which one do you want to go for first?
I'll give it to Uncharted.
Yeah, because I know how you feel about Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm going to go for Uncharted as well, just so you guys know as well. So
I'm
2 Uncharted.
I think I'm going to say Uncharted, because I think it's one of those games that it's a step above something like Horizon Zero Dawn. To me, in terms of storytelling and characters and the way it's executed. Yeah. It's just above it.
The characters alone, it's just like, I mean, it's the fourth in the franchise, right? So we're already deeply invested in these characters. I am now anyway, now playing the first ones and stuff like that. Yeah. And you can tell that they have fully fledged backstories. The way that they speak with personality. Yeah. Whereas Aloy, we don't know anything about her. She's just created her personality in this, and the first game's always a little bit shallow until it gets deepened in the next ones and stuff like that. So I think Uncharted definitely wins it here. Sorry to all those people out there. I think there's a GamerVids guy who made a whole video on why Horizon Zero Dawn's great and stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Idiot.
Got knocked out in the second round. What kind of an idiot is that?
Yeah, come on, man. What's going on there?
It doesn't anything. Those Welford guys, what do they know?
Yeah, what the fuck? Fuck a Welford. Wait, what?
Fuck. Messaging your mum right now. By the way, I have your mum's phone number, by the way, just so you know.
Yo, what the fuck, Julie?
Little side note.
I'm going to have a word with her, mate, when this podcast's over.
The next bracket, we have Marvel Spider-Man PS4 versus Detroit Become Human.
Spider-Man for me.
Yeah, give it to Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man for me as well. I think that Detroit Become Human is great. It does great voice acting. I love the alternate endings. But nothing comes to... first of all, I think Spider-Man is probably one of the best MCU characters out there.
Yep.
100%.
I think the best one out there.
It was my favourite Marvel character.
Yep.
Yes. And the feeling of just zipping through the traffic, zipping through all those buildings, the way they make it so fluid, the bullet time effects where everything slows down when you're like hitting people, the combo effects, all of those different suits, all those different like the gadgets, the web shooters and stuff like that. They were so good. Nothing was out of place. Nothing was unrealistic. It was all just fantastic. Beautiful stuff right there.
Yeah, brilliant game.
The next one is Infamous Second Son versus PT.
Fuck PT. I hate horror games. Infamous.
For me, it's PT because P was more to me. Yeah.
And I wish they make PT, but fuck.
Oh, I would love for them to make
fuck
it. Oh
god. I think Infamous Second Son. Yeah. PT was great and everything, but Infamous Second Son was just so much better.
That's fair enough. Better, right?
And then we have The Last Guardian versus Ghost of Tsushima.
That's an obvious
Ghost.
choice. It's Ghost.
Yeah, it gotta be.
Ghost.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Alrighty then. Let me just delete these ones so I don't get them confused. Last Guardian also getting deleted. Lovely. Okay, we're breaking it down now. Let me just talk about all the people that went through it. It's God of War, Ratchet and Clank, Uncharted Lost Legacy, Bloodborne, Uncharted A Thief's End, Marvel's Avengers, Spider-Man PS4, Infamous Second Son, and Ghost of Tsushima. Those are the people in the final round.
Cool.
Beautiful. The top of the PS4 exclusives.
Yeah.
Any one of these ones you have to play now. These ones are the
Yeah.
ones where you're like, yep, cool. Buy them, you're not going to be disappointed right now.
Definitely.
Okay, let's start off, lads. God of War versus Ratchet and Clank.
God of War is slapping that bitch, man.
Yeah, come on, man.
I feel sorry for anyone going up against God of War. It's just like, cool, no problem. There's a heavyweight champion. Anyone in front of him is no what's
Yeah.
going to
I'm
happen.
just imagining Kratos smacking the fuck out of Ratchet and Clank, just fucking decimating them.
He just pulls out that axe and just throws it down on their head. It's like, oh god, so fucking. Annoying.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, God of War then. All
God
right,
of
no
War.
problem. Let's have a look. The next one is Uncharted Lost Legacy versus Bloodborne. This is a tough one. This is a tough one right here.
Oh god, what the fuck?
Shall I go first?
Yeah, you go first, mate.
I'm gonna go for Bloodborne.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun with that game, and I do love how fucking unforgiving it is as well. And it's the first like Souls-like game that I've played that I really enjoyed. It's great. It may not be like fantastic acting or anything like that. It's not like a massive story game, although there is a lot of background lore and stuff like that if you want to go find it out. But it's different to Lost Legacy, but I like that a lot. I like it. I'm gonna pick that one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say Bloodborne as well. I think the source material and, you know, the Lovecraftian influence and just the fact that it's a Souls-like as well, it just has that edge for me. I'm a bitch for Souls games, honestly.
You're a bitch, I know.
Someone just cut that little bit out and just put that on no context, 4 pillars.
I'm a bitch.
Oh, man.
Sheps.
Yeah. What's your
I would probably give it to Uncharted.
Yeah?
Yeah, just because it's kind of the sort of narrative that I tend to enjoy.
Yeah.
For example, even I would say one of the big detractors from Ghost of Tsushima has been, while the story's good, it just hasn't got its hooks in me. You know, I'm not dying to find out what happens next.
Yeah.
I can kind of figure it out. I'm not I'm cool to do the side missions. I know I'm going to get there in the end, you know? Whereas with something like The Last of Us or God of War, I needed to know. I needed to get it done, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that. Yeah, I get that.
So, yeah, I'll say Uncharted and lose.
Fair enough choice.
Lose, there you go. And the next bracket is Uncharted 4 A Thief's End versus Marvel's Spider-Man PS4.
Ooh.
It's too hard now. It's too hard. I mean,
giving
these
it
last
Spider-Man.
couple.
I'm giving it Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's getting it. I'm going to say Uncharted 4.
Oh!
Yeah, I got it.
Oh god, you're leaving this to me.
Yeah.
Oh
Break the
no.
tie, Ed. Break the tie.
Oh god, this is like choosing between my two children. It's like, oh, which one do I choose?
Yeah.
It's gonna be Spider-Man. It's gonna be Spider-Man.
Fair enough, man.
There's,
Either of those options is amazing. Yeah.
Exactly, like both of them are fantastic. The difference is near as makes no difference.
It's kind of like someone saying, here, you can have a free Lambo or a free Ferrari.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like,
yeah.
oh no. You know,
oh no!
What a terrible choice.
yeah, what will I do?
Yeah.
Oh, woe is me to put myself in this situation.
Yeah, exactly.
It is fantastic, and I feel like the Spider-Man PS4 game has also. If you was to say, to anybody, what one game would you recommend? You could say Spider-Man PS4, and they'd be like, oh, I know Spider-Man, and I've seen the videos because it's probably permeated beyond even gaming, and people out there are like, shit, I know this Spider-Man game. And that would hook them into the PlayStation ecosystem if you wanted to. Whereas God of War, if you said it, you'd be like, I don't really understand what this character is. I don't know.
Isn't that
Spider-Man,
the Greek guy
knows.
that murders all the gods? Like,
Something like that. I don't know. You know what's going on. But you could say Spider-Man, and everyone would be like, yes, yes, I get it. The last bracket: Infamous Second Son versus Ghost of Tsushima.
That's quite cool actually. It's both Sucker Punch games. At both ends
Sucker Punch
of the,
games meet here.
Yeah.
And they do the standoff in the game. They're like they both got their blades holding it right there.
But they bow to each other beforehand. They've got to show respect.
Definitely.
Ghost of Tsushima. That's I gotta say it's.
Yeah, I agree. I'll say this because of like the combat. This Second Son is relatively basic. You know, you have certain moves and that's that. But with Ghost of Tsushima, you can choose whether you're going to stealth it or sword fight. Are you going to stand off? Are you going to assassinate? You know, what kind of... You know, you've got to switch up your stances, which I'm really enjoying how engaging that stuff is. The combat's so good.
Yeah,
so good. Yeah.
It's so good. I'm going to go for Ghost as well. Ghost is definitely the one for me. Congratulations, Ghost. Very sorry, Infamous Second Son. There we go. All right, we're down to 4 contenders, ladies and gents. This is the semi-finals, and it's hard as fuck.
Yes,
I don't know how we're going to do this, all right? I don't know how we're going to do this. Of course, the first one, God of War versus Bloodborne.
God of War.
God of War. I gotta say God of War.
Yeah, come on.
It's this weird thing. It's like, it's very, very difficult. These are great games, but it's God of War. It's God of War.
Exactly.
It's
Right.
God of War definitely wins. Bloodborne, not to take anything away from you.
Let me ask a question to both of you. If that was The Last of Us 2 versus Bloodborne, would it be closer?
I don't think it would be. No, I don't think it would be.
Okay.
I think Last of Us 2 is
Last
still
of Us
good.
Part 2, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a different kind of experience. That story is
Right.
fantastic. It's something that isn't there in Bloodborne, but you get something different from Bloodborne.
Cool.
Okay, that's cool. And this one. All right. Fucking, this is going to be tough. I don't know how we're going to do this. All right. Marvel Spider-Man PS4 versus Ghost of Tsushima.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
shit.
It's got the most difficult one.
I think
This
this might
is
be
really
the closest one.
Wait till the next round. Go on, guys. What are we thinking? What's going through our minds?
You go first, then.
Oh God,
So
that put
it's
me on
all
the
on
spot.
you go first.
I'm the one to first upset people. Shit.
Let's just make it a 3-way battle royale.
Yeah, 3-way battle royale, guys. We're doing it.
I'm
the
gonna
worst
have to
thing
say
is-
for this, I'm gonna have to say Ghost of Tsushima. I
you know
love
what?
Spider-Man, but the DLC's let it down.
The Silver Line. Is it Silver Lining DLC? Oh, there's 3 parts to it, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
they
it doesn't
just
sleep
they're
and whatnot.
disappointing. So.
Except what happens when Miles Morales comes out.
That's cool. Oh yeah,
Could be a game changer.
that could very much be a game changer indeed. I'm sticking by Ghost. I'm sticking by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Spider-Man again. So we're 1 for 1 here. Spider-Man because again, that story was something. It's a story we know. You know, Dr. Octopus and stuff like that is cool and whatnot. But the way it was told was quite unique. I think it's fucking amazing that they had the balls, the fucking nuts to kill Aunt May. I was like, whoa, you guys gonna do this?
Yeah, and
Okay.
they pulled off a good Sinister Six storyline as well, to be fair, which is like really ambitious.
It's kind of the Game of Thrones season 1 finale where you're like, okay, cool. The sword came down. How are they going to bring him back?
Strange. How are they going to bring Ned
'cause
Stark back?
He's clearly the main character, you know?
Yeah. It was but I do love Ghost of Tsushima. I'm playing it right now. I'm going for the platinum. I'm spending all my spare time getting that fucking platinum because I love it so much.
Did
But
you finish?
Spider-Man
Did you
just
finish
edges
it?
out. Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay. How did you find the story? Because I haven't finished it.
It's a good ending as well. It's very good.
Okay,
ending.
cool.
I'm looking forward to it.
Sheps, break this tie. Break this tie.
Come on, man.
Can't we all just agree that God of War wins?
I mean, that's already established. Let's be honest. Whatever game comes out of this, God of War is smashing.
What you
for
have
me.
to do right now, Sheps, is decide who is going to lose to God of War.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, absolutely. Like, because that's the thing is, it feels like there's no point doing this because we know that it loses and by a fair margin for the next game.
Yeah.
Okay, it isn't fair. This is entirely, and in fact, look, this whole decision-making process has been based on games that, and for everyone even before this, right, where they may have got things wrong and we've cleared it up,
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
What kind of game do you enjoy? Did you even play it? Like, I never played the Uncharted games, so they were, I'm a history nerd. I love anime. I love samurai films and stuff.
Hey.
I'm gonna give it to Ghost.
Oh,
Yes.
Spider-Man goes. I can't believe you're sending Ghost of Tsushima off to die. I can't believe you're doing that.
It's going to be honorable seppuku, I think, is the best it can hope for. Yeah.
All right, and then the final round, the big finale, God of War versus Ghost of Tsushima, which is different to what everyone else did. They did Uncharted 4. God of War, right, lads?
God of War. Yeah, God of War.
Let me just lead the funeral service for Jin the Saikai.
Please.
It was a nice knowing you, sir. I die with honor.
He died a warrior's death.
He did.
He did. Congratulations, God of War. You're the winner of the True Gamer Podcast Best PS4 exclusive. Woo!
I wouldn't pick any other.
No one could have seen it coming.
No one could have seen it coming. Really. I couldn't have guessed it.
Even though at the beginning of this I said that God of War was the best PlayStation game ever made.
And God stated it was, it was stated that God of War is the best game ever made by Ed.
Yeah.
But without these last 2 hours of content, you would never have known.
Exactly.
You would never have got it, guys. You never would have got it. Fucking hell. Anyway, I'm glad we did that. It was good fun. A great discussion about some games that have gone on. Thank you, everybody who also wrote in and did the poll on Twitter and whatnot, and all the people that shared it. It was all fantastic. A lot of people. I think at one point we got up to something like 700 votes on these polls. Fucking fantastic. It was really great to have that. Yeah. Thank you, George, for joining us for this PS4 exclusive tournament. This is a once in a lifetime thing, so you got to experience greatness, just like PlayStation's motto right there. Greatness awaits.
It's a pleasure.
Right. You're the only Welford we would ever have on the True Gaming podcast. So
we're fucking 11, 12 episodes in, and we haven't even thought about getting those talentless hacks over as always and whatnot. We only thought about you. Only thought about you.
It's true.
My heart is warmed.
Good. All right, so we're gonna wrap this episode up, this bonus episode for the True Gamer podcast, and we're gonna kick it over in a separate video to the True Gamer podcast, where we're gonna be talking about all the news like we normally do. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thank you, George, again for joining us here.
It's been a blast.
Yeah, George. Just before we go, is George coming to the other podcast?
He is, I believe.
You are good because I definitely have a question, and it does include an exclusive title that I want you to answer. So we will catch you all over there.
Yeah, we will.
If somehow, because I know we do have some people that are only on our channels. If you don't know our boy Long-Feared Cock, check him out. Has some spicy takes and some good takes.
Indeed.
But makes great content on YouTube. So if you're one of our guys and you don't know George, you're missing out. You are genuinely missing out.
Much appreciated, lads.
I'll leave all your links in the description, George and whatnot, to your channel, to your Twitter, to your OnlyFans, everything like that.
All that.
Everyone will be able to find you wherever you are. And I will catch all of you guys in the next True Gamer podcast episode.
Yeah. Catch you there.
See you later, everyone.